to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next thing on the agenda is audience comments.
I know that you have on the budget. Oh, Dan Bryant, I'm sorry, Dan Bryant, Cook Road. I see on the budget that you have money set aside for roads. I know this is coming up again, but to quickly, I know that after Supervisor Fortino was voted in, I came to his office and I brought this little packet here, and he looked it over. I wanted it back, and this goes back to January of 2005. And Ray Cole and I, my neighbor, on the last mile of Cook Road between Duffield and County Line, we got signatures. It's approximately 33 houses. I have still all the signatures of the homeowners here, 49 signatures. We went before the Genesee County Road Commission, and we didn't get anything accomplished there, unfortunately. Just to give you two of the quotes from the residents and a couple others. Here's the first one. The poorest and bumpiest road I drive on, Greg, he was a FedEx driver, dated 1/21/05. And the next one, I've got more, but I'm not going to read those. This is the worst road in the township, Jeff, Genesee County grader operator. There you go. You know, I talked with Bill Roberts and yesterday, and I just saw Donna Pickler. She's been there for 50 years. And I was discussing the roads, and I said, do you remember when the last time the gravel was put down? She said, I remember one time in 50 years, and Bill Roberts told me the last time for him, and he's near the end of Cook Road by County Line, he said at least 25 years ago. And he said, in fact, the reason I remember, they were putting down the gravel from Duffield to the west, the County Line. He said they stopped just about in front of my house. So he said he went out and talked with with the supervisor, why aren't you putting any more down? And they said, because we found out that there's too much sand mixed in with the gravel. So he said you did the whole road up to here, and then you found out that there's too much sand in the mix. You know, they spend all this money on a roundabout. I know it's not your fault. For safety reasons, they do the roundabout. I don't know what the cost of that was. It was for safety. 2 young people were killed. You know, and how much time and energy road commission people could we have used putting down roads, gravel, fixing? Our ditches are full of water again. If you would, I'd be glad to pay your mileage if you would come down, drive down my road tomorrow. Yep. You know, we've got water on each side. We've got the mosquito problem coming up. I don't know what's going to be done about that. But this goes back to 2005 when we turned this in, and it's one of the worst roads. You know, this is 2016, so that's over 11 years now. They haven't done a thing. They cut our trees 3 times, like I've told you before. They were supposed to ditch. Mr. Melky, when he was supervisor, he said, I got a letter, you are a top priority for 2014 improvement projects. And this spring, when the road drain commission begins, and then he was voted out, this is the top priority on our road. So, you know, I don't know. I talked with Chief Smitzer today, and he said that you're still going by Mr. Melky's former chart that he had out for roads. And when I was in talking to Melky before, he showed me where we were on there, and we were one of the top priorities. And if you're still going by that, we haven't had anything done to our roads. And one time in 50 years for gravel is outrageous, and no ditching. Chief Smitzer told me today that Genesee County owes the township hours for 4 years that you haven't used all the ditching hours in those 4 years. They haven't used all the hours available. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, we've got, you know, they don't have manpower, I agree, there's only 5 people, there's more people on the county board and Dr. Daly than there is workers out there, so, you know, it's a sad situation, but I hope that you would drive down my road and see what it's like, you know, driving 3-4 miles an hour doesn't make it. And if you go right around the corner, Cook Road, take the jog to Pittsburgh, Shiawassee County, there you go, you can just slide down the road, don't have to worry about breaking or accidents or anything. Thank you very much.
Can I just have a point of information?
It's comment time.
Well, I don't want to comment, it's just a point of information. Usually, like, the budget hearing is a separate from the meeting. I see you have it within the meeting, which is allowable. But right now, are we in the meeting, and so we comment in the meeting, and then we get to comment as the public in the public hearing? Because we're supposed to be able to do both. One is for the budget, which we can comment on, and one is for the meeting.
This is the budget hearing.
Well, this is the meeting, and we're gonna open the budget hearing, and you get to comment at that time too.
Oh, okay, that's it, yeah, that's what I want to do. So there's 2 really comment sections, one in the budget hearing and one for the meeting.
Per se, yeah, you could say that.
Okay. Well, I'll speak down in the meeting. I just wanted to check.
Okay, anybody else? Oh,
I was just asking for a point of information.
okay.
Okay. Seeing as it was brought up about roads, it was, I believe, 2008 or 2009, the culvert, the road culvert on Seymour Road, south of my house, was done. Okay, now there, it was just one section to bring it all over, the water over from Reed Road and the other side of the house, the other side of the road. And it comes down. And I know we spoke about this, and I know it's been a while since we spoke about it, and I did show you that basically the water is not going down the ditches anymore north of my driveway culvert. It's not going down the ditch. When it's an influx of water, it comes over my property, which basically you could say you're flooding my property, coming over my property and down my driveway. You're going straight over where even small cars can't get through because it's a river. I know when we spoke about this, and you may not remember because I know it's been, you know, sort of a change and everything that's gone on. But it was said that north of my property was going to be ditched, and there is a drain there. We couldn't afford the money for the drain at that time, so the drain can be done through the drain department from the north of the Williams house, that drain. But still, I'm getting all this flooding because the culverts north, the driveway culverts north of my house, they're going into 8-inch culverts, and there's all the ditches need cleaning out. There's trees going in there and everything, and you can get, it's dry north, and that's the water flow. So is that going to be getting done this year? Because I know I spoke to you about it when you were elected last time, and it was going to get done. This is going to be the next phase, and then I spoke to Milky about it, and apparently they were backed up, as it was mentioned. And now I'm in this situation where it's many years later, and still nothing has been done about that ditch.
I remember it well.
Yes. Is anything going to be done this year? Is it even going to be on the list for suggestions to be done? Because right now I've got I've got a topographical report, and it is saying that basically the municipality, whether it be county or township, are flooding my property, and that's not allowed.
I want to see if there's any more comments, and then after we get through the comments, this is not like a regular board meeting here.
I know.
So, if there's anybody else wants to comment after that, I can say something about that.
Cool.
Because it's not the way we normally do it, but what the heck.
I know.
Anybody else?
I'll trade your houses.
Really?
Yeah.
Evening. First budget meeting I've addressed in a while. Jerry Kadich, Gaines Township, United States of America, and I'm a patriot. My concerns at this budget hearing revolves around the police budget. Please listen carefully. According to the proposed budget, the township receives a $500,000 from our taxes. That's approximately $84,000 a year and $69,000 from the general fund for a total of $153,000. I FOIA'd the police logs for the last 2 weeks this past October 2015, as well as noticeable inconsistencies in the logs and missing data. They report 186.5 hours of total police coverage. Of that coverage, 83.5 hours was spent on administration by the chief and the part-time officer and the investigator. Of that coverage, 24.25 hours was all that was spent on patrol by the chief and the part-time officer. Big disparity there. The data also shows 8 hours of the 2 weeks were dedicated to Spooky Trails, so it can be safe to say they received about 16 hours per month of dedicated township policing. The remainder, 69.75 hours, were dedicated to such sundry items as of lunch and also the missing data that wasn't completed on the official police logs. From that information and your township budget, my concerns are these. The data shows that residents are receiving a mere 12 hours a week of patrol from one full-time working police chief and one part-time officer. Speaking for myself, I would have expected more patrolling than 12 hours a week for a $500,000 amount of $84,000 and another $69,000 coming out of the general fund, like I said, for a grand total of $153,000. 41.75 hours per week on administration. And I understand that there's paperwork to be done. But at meetings, it has been stated by the board and by the chief that he also writes grants. Those grants have been reported to be not only for the police department, but for the fire department and the township. On the budget, I do not see any line item for a grant writer within the township budget or the fire department budget, and going by your budget, our $500,000 is paying for something other than police protection. For the dedicated hours to Spooky Trails in the police budget, it shows no revenues coming in for that dedicated service, of which was a court-ordered settlement that both the township and Spooky Trails has agreed to.
You got about 30 seconds.
I'll be done before that, Mr. Fortino, but thank you for my reminder, just like you reminded the other two speakers before me. In closing, I will say that I supported the $500,000 for the police protection over 5 years, and when it comes up for a vote again in 2018, if this is all the patrolling and police protection we're going to get for the $84,000 per year off our taxes and the $69,000 out of the general fund, I gotta say, I will not be one supporting a renewal of that. Thank you all, and y'all have a blessed day.
Anyone else?
Heather Deal, Gaines Township. I have to say I concur with Mr. Kadish's remarks. In 2013, as a volunteer citizen, I served on the Public Safety Committee. At that time, the purpose of the 4-citizen committee was to use the 911 data and facts to propose a cost-effective improvement to our Gaines Township Police Department, which, like it or not, that goal was accomplished and presented publicly. And as far as I can tell, many of the ideas the committee proposed were never considered to be significant by this administration. However, the 1/2 mil police assessment the committee proposed was passed by the voters in support of financing the improvement, and I supported that as well. That being said, I did learn a lot from that experience, which brings me to the following comment. According to your proposed figures, there's $84,000, as was mentioned already, coming into the police department from the millage funded by the taxpayers. After looking over a 2-week period of police logs obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, I must say that I am appalled at the findings. I do not believe it was the intent of the electorate to be financing our police chief to write grants for the township and the fire department. The logs clearly show the administration hours far outweigh the dedicated patrol hours. The committee proposed a working chief and 2 part-time officers for more dedicated road patrol, and apparently the type of service we are getting for our tax dollars is something totally different. And real short, one more short paragraph. On another note, it's been stated by the supervisor in the past that the township secretary processes paperwork for the building department, which I believe the township is entitled to charge the building department for those hours. And in looking at your proposed budget, the office secretary line does not reflect this. It just reflects her 40-hour work week, 52 weeks a year, which computes to her hourly rate of $15.50. So just putting that out there for your consideration.
Thank you. All 4 spoke, so that's the end of that section. So we'll close down the audience comments. The drainage that's north of you, I had an agreement prepared by the road commission to reestablish the drainage ditch from Seymour Road back to the woods where it cuts across those houses that are in the woods. There's a drain there. And I believe you're aware that we got right down to the homeowner signing the easement right for the road commission to clean out, I believe there was 400 feet or so, which was not their responsibility, but they agreed to do it. And at the last minute, he refused to sign it.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we're stuck. There's nothing that can be done until he would agree to that, because there is no right-of-way there, no easement, except for the gas line. That's the end of the
But
story.
also, you could take it down further if you have a lot. Because even though, like mine's flooded, like my ditch is flooded, and it never used to be until the culvert, the cross culvert was done south of my property. And if you have a look, all of them culverts, and I know they were done years ago, them houses and everything, but all of them culverts go from driveway culverts, them driveway culverts, they're like 8 inches and they're all blocked up, and they're not even going down, but you can keep it going down because they're dry. I'm in 6 foot of water and they're all drying up, and which is the natural flow. And even though, regardless, like the drain commission doing that drain which they abandoned years ago, it still could flow down and then end up going down to Hill and Seymour. If they were just cleaned out, and all I'm asking is, if you could just propose it to the road department, then that way have them look at it and see what goes on. Because it's mostly, and you know the problem is usually it's with driveway culverts and the lack of maintenance to them. And I know that's not the road department, I know it's the residents. But, you know, we could,
Yeah, Mrs.
whether
we're
insufficient.
kind of, you know, we could talk a long time about that.
I know, we've talked forever about it years ago.
Yeah, so, that's where we're at now.
Will you just propose it to the road department, that's all I ask.
Yeah, there's been 3 foremans that have been out there, you know, all the way back to Fred Jackson, so. I said I would respond to that because I thought it was simple.
Thank you, Paul, I appreciate it.
Okay, we need to get into the main purpose of this meeting, which is the budget hearing. So that's what we'll do. I guess I don't need to open up the budget hearing, this is the budget hearing.
Just, open up the budget hearing
Officially. Yeah, okay, officially open up the budget hearing. Okay, what do you want me to give me, just do an overview of this, like I used to or not?
Yep, I would say so. As you know, we had the workshops, we had a couple workshops that filled in all the numbers that we had agreed to, so just everybody look it over, and do you have any concerns, or think we ought to change something?
I'll just give the subtotals here. Total estimated revenue of $854,200. Pretty much, you can see where the breakdown is on the first page. It's the estimated revenues. The subtotals on the expenditures, general government, $162,595. Other general government expenditures, so $286,657. Public works, $310,000. Community and economic development, planning commission, that kind of stuff. Appeals board, $8,700. Other functions, $38,300. Capital improvements, building improvements, $100,000. Office equipment, capital, $3,500. Building improvements is really more concrete to fix the tore up parking lot and driveway. That culvert out there's got to be replaced again. That one does. This one was last year. Capital improvement on the roads, this just kind of shows the money coming in from the special assessment districts, from Oakwood and Baldwin. I think most of the rest of them are pretty much paid off. Capital outlay for the fire department, that page, pretty straightforward. We need to revisit the Homeland Security grant. I need to do a little bit of work on that sometime in the future here. Once we get the bids for the vehicle, so we know exactly how much we're dealing with here. Part of it will come from the police department, because it's a police and fire Homeland Security grant, so part of it will come from the police department and part of it from the fire department. So it's got to be tweaked a little bit.
Which vehicle?
UTV. I think those bids are back, they're supposed to be back last Friday. We didn't have very good response, that's for sure. Fire operating budgets, general revenue, total revenue, $191,557. Expenditures of $163,657. The rest of it is in large equipment and small equipment. Capital contributions for the year. Capital outlay for building and site. That's something we put $25,000 a year aside each year for the last 11 years, 10 years, something like that. Police department, total revenue $153,900. Expenditures of $138,900. The contribution into the capital outlay of $15,000. But the expenditures for the UTV are here, and then the revenues over in the fleet, the fire, so that's why I say we gotta tweak that a little bit. Water and sewer tap-in, estimated revenues of $11,000. Bond and interest payment and depreciation comes to $90,000. Water and sewer usage fund, total revenue of $131,000, or $331,000, I'm sorry. And estimated expenditures, $380,600. Waste and refuge, total revenue $344,650. Contract services is about, depending on how many houses we got, $320,000. So we're still in red by 24,000. Is a good thing. This is the Homeland Security grant here. Probably where we would make some changes there. And that pretty well covers that. I believe there's last year's budget right there too.
Yes,
There's a copy of last year's budget, last year's fiscal.
we have to amend that for this year.
Yeah, but they can also use that to make a comparison to this budget. Okay,
So we need to, this police, Diane has provided this at the end of your packet, balances in the police checkbook and the roads checkbook at this time. On the beginning balance on the police capital outlay, I think that we should correct that to reflect what's in the checkbook.
Can't hear.
I think that we need to amend the beginning balance of the police capital outlay to reflect what's in the checkbook. I had on here $46,649, but the checkbook only has $20,737 as a beginning balance. And you said that you wanted to do something for the UTV here. Is this expenditure? Is the $12,500 gonna come out of the police capital?
well,
You wanna show the revenue?
The grant is less than that, it's 10,000 something. So the total expenditure is gonna be like 24, 22, I don't
We
know.
don't know till we go open the
We
bill.
open it up, so we don't know. Yeah, so we've got the difference between what the grant is and what the cost is. So that would be the expenditure. So the grant would be something less than 11,000, and then whatever the fire department puts towards it, and the the difference between that grant and what it
I
costs.
know.
So
it's
it's
at $12,000.
split evenly between the two
Yeah,
departments?
it's, that 12,000's, it's gonna be a different number than that even, I think.
It's gonna be 12,000 total, but you wanna split that between
No,
the
the
police.
total's gonna be like 20-some thousand.
Right, but 10,000 of it's gonna be grant money.
Yeah. So it could,
But still, we have to accommodate for the expenditure.
right, could be half of the
So,
difference.
say 25,000, that's why I had 12,000 down here, so why can't we just use 12,500
We
as
could.
an expenditure on
We'll
both
do it.
sides?
We'll, once we open up the bids, we'll know how much that number should
But
If
be.
that
it's
should
big,
cover it.
if it's big, if it would cover it, that's what you should do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it should be split between the fire and bids, fire and the police.
It was written, the grant was written as a mutual grant, that's how we got it, through Region 3, through Homeland Security. We couldn't get it alone, fire department couldn't get one, police department couldn't get one. We wrote it as a joint grant, so we should split any cost overruns between the two of us evenly. But we had some figures that we worked with a year ago, it took over a year to get the thing through the federal government. Whether these bids, that when they come in, will meet that same thing, whether they went up, we don't know because they're sealed bids, we don't know until we open.
Right.
And we don't know what the cost of that.
That, we can't even really get we got a
Is this
ballpark
something
figure
that
for
we
that,
dealt with
but we can't
after we know
give you a
more
solid
what
till we know what
Yeah.
model
So
ATV.
this isn't like a.
That's what I'm saying, what are we buying? Do we have a clue?
Yeah.
As to what we are getting?
But the expenditures
But,
in the fire
you know, you don't
department,
you have
there's an expenditure in the.
different bids out there, you don't know,
You got the
you have a
expenditures.
ballpark figure,
So you
but
think
we
you
don't
say
know
we're
where it comes
covered?
in.
They're already in the line.
Yeah,
What
those numbers
exactly
will
are we
change.
Well, that's
purchasing?
okay.
Or do we
We
want
just
to
have to,
purchase?
we just have to.
It's
count
a
it.
fire
Especially if
rescue
these numbers
ATV.
are larger.
Right,
Fire rescue ATV.
But-
okay.
Don't we have,
Who makes
some
them?
fairly, am I reading this?
We don't know what,
correctly? That, like,
what
water
power
and
plant
sewer
we'll put it
needs-
on, because we've asked Polaris, we've asked Kubota, we've asked John Deere, all to bid on this. We don't know, but which one, you guys,
But we had one bid,
we've had one bid in, and we gave the closing bid on Good Friday, and I had one call me on the 24th, I told him if they put it in the mail on the 24th, we'll still accept it because of
Postmark.
the holiday, you know.
right?
It has not come yet, doesn't mean that they didn't mail it, it just, you know, if the mail
Just
way it
means
is,
that
then
they
it,
didn't get it.
you know, we'll see.
So it really, this discussion shouldn't hold the budget up.
Right.
It just needs to be, at the
It's like when you're
time,
buying a police car, I don't know whether it's gonna be a Ford, Chrysler, or Chevy till we
at
decide.
the time we open the bids up, then we can make the adjustments that we need to make in the numbers. I guess we can just leave
If
it.
these, if these line items are larger than what we're gonna be dealing with.
Where did
anyway, I don't
the bids
see
come
the
in
need for
from?
urgency at all. there.
There isn't.
The only one that has come in so far is from Alderman's,
From who?
Alderman's. We haven't heard from Chapman's or Shiawassee or D&G or any of the others that were asked to bid. We also advertise it in the paper and on our website.
Beginning balance of the police capital outlay.
Okay.
It's on the police page there.
Well, we did go to Shiawassee, we went to all these people, right?
I believe you sent them letters.
Okay.
Catching on this.
See the police page?
Yeah, capital outlay page, first page.
And I hate to say that, I'm very good friend of owns Shiawassee.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So send a letter and ask them.
Okay, this number,
I can't
this
understand
number here should be,
Okay, I'm
why
sorry.
you would not have
should be what?
20,737.
wanted to just donate one. Really?
See how mine works.
No, I haven't.
Okay. The beginning balance on the police capital outlay should be 20,737. That'll change that, the total balance.
So 35,737.
Would you say 35?
Yes. 737.
All right. What other change we need to make?
What was it balance in there?
Please,
on when we're gonna confirm the balances for the auditors and the accounts.
Okay.
Well, that was the only thing that I had there, is in, I guess we'll take audience comments on budget.
Looks like we need to,
If somebody else has some.
do some work again and make adjustments again on water and sewer usage, right? We're running short
No, you don't,
or not.
you don't know that. We'll have to wait till after the audit to see what the actual numbers are.
Okay, so that, you're not concerned about that at this point?
No, not at this time. We'll pay attention to that though when the audit comes out.
Oh,
I
that-
think it was within 5,000 last time,
Okay,
which is good.
yeah, right, okay.
Okay, I guess I'll take some comments from anybody that wants to comment on what I just presented.
Was that the entire part of the budget that you presented?
What I just presented, yeah.
Go ahead, Ms. Summers.
I'll go, because I need to get home. Trump is on at 8 o'clock.
Say what?
Using the podium now for political purposes. Okay, just looking here. The building improvements, you did mention it was coming from, for the concrete. Is that coming out the general fund? I know you've got it under capital improvements, but I look at the capital improvements and estimated expenditures, you got nothing coming out. So a year, it basically just gives a false representation that you've taken it out of the general fund, for those who don't know.
Well, it comes out general fund balance.
The 100,000's coming out of the general fund? I thought it was coming out of the building and size.
No.
No, it's not? Okay. I'd like to know why. Then also, let me see here, we've got, okay, the road maintenance, you've got 200,000 in road maintenance. Is that also the balance? Does that include the balance for Oakwood subdivision?
No, it's got nothing to do with Oakwood.
It's not got anything to do with Oakwood? Okay, and,
Hopefully we'll try to fix a couple miles of road.
well, if you could put my ditch in there, I'd be very much appreciated. I think that's, oh, okay, yeah, you answered that question. Yep, that's it, just need to know that.
Dan Bryant, Cook Road. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I forgot to add that just down the way to the west of us, we have a drainage ditch. And before, as you know, they were supposed to come in and power wash the drains and put new drains in, and that would take care of a lot of the water. So, you know, like I said, I don't like being in front of people and talking, and I don't like to beat a dead horse, but, is there any sign of if anything will be done in the near future? Thank you.
Okay. My head is nodding.
Hmm?
My head is nodding.
Which way?
Trying.
Oh, okay.
I see in the,
Mr. Caddishy,
oh, Gary Kadich?
I'm just telling.
Oh, okay. I see that there's a $2,500 in the wage line item for the trustees. It's my understanding that the wage is $510 per trustee per year. So why is there double the amount in that line item? Are they getting a raise this year?
No, that's for their per diem. That, in that line is their monthly wage plus their per diem.
And that's $50 per meeting?
$55 per meeting.
Is that if they're sitting on like a zoning board or?
No, this board.
So they get the 510 plus $50.
$55 a meeting.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up, Mr. Dollar, I appreciate it. So that goes past that, my next question then, and then there's $2,800 in the mileage line. Mileage is, from my understanding, about 54 cents per mile, and that that equates to over 5,000 miles per year. In the past, this item had been gone over. Where are the people going and who's getting all this mileage? And are we going to be going over that amount this year for mileage?
No, we don't perceive that. Probably won't even reach that amount.
Budget numbers are large numbers.
Right, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you much.
I just have a real point of information. I'm looking at these account numbers. I think they're account numbers. And if you look under public safety, 301, it looks like a number assigned there. And then you turn over to police department budget and it says 336. So it doesn't match up. So I'm wondering if that just needs a correction. Because 336 is not the same as, it's different in two different places, I guess is what I'm saying.
One's a revenue line and one's a expenditure. Chart
So
of
it should be
accounts.
that number, it should have that number?
We use the state's chart of account numbers. We converted to that 6 years ago.
Okay, well, the thing that confused me, because under police operating, it says fire operating, and that's assigned 336 also. Is that the same?
Right.
You gotta look at the
It's
whole
coming
number.
from our general fund into
You
the,
gotta look at the whole
Okay.
number.
So it would be 336.
You
Okay.
gotta look at the whole number.
Okay,
Okay?
yep.
I guess that exhausts that, comments there, so we'll move on.
The overage in the general fund is that money for roads. Fund balance, man, so you come
Fund
up.
balance.
Yeah. Transfer.
The roads and the parking lot.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
We don't know how much that is, depending on how much, at the end of the year, how much is, you know, the rest of the budget
Yeah,
is
I understand.
unspent. Okay, so we need a, close the public hearing on the budget, and I guess I'll entertain a motion to adopt the budget as presented.
I'll make the motion, we accept the 2016, 2017 township budget as presented. I'm not gonna, I'm specifically avoiding that grant issue right now, because it's, to me, it's minor.
Minor, right?
I'll support that.
Okay, any discussion from board members on it, or questions, comments, whatever? Move you? Anybody? Roll call vote?
Howard,
Yes.
Herman, yes, Kirby,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yeah.
Martina,
Yes. Okay, now we've got a whole laundry list of resolutions to go through, so I'll try to,
This is the General Appropriations Act too.
yep, this is the next thing on the list, is general appropriation. This is the 2017, so this is a new one.
Well, we just took the numbers out of the budget and put them into the estimated revenues and estimated expenditures.
I'll make a motion, we allow the clerk and supervisor to sign the general appropriation act for 2016, 2017.
Just a general open.
I'll support.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Wage schedule.
This year, the only adjustments that were made was, per the police chief's recommendation, we added the, which we had done before but never put it on a wage schedule, was the police investigator, position. And at $16 an hour, and the police officer position was changed to $17 an hour. And we had removed the land division, stuff that was on the bottom of this from last year.
And a small change in police chiefs also, I believe.
Not that I'm aware of.
No, nothing for the police chief.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to accept the current wage schedule as presented for the, is this fiscal year 2016, 2017?
Correct.
Support.
Okay, any signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Should this not be a roll call, being it's money?
We can do it either way, but it's just a schedule, it's not. If you wanna take a roll
It's not
call,
money?
you can ask for a roll call. We can do it,
It's just how the money's gonna be spent,
we can do a roll
it's
call.
our scheduled fees.
Okay,
It's like
we'll
our
do-
scheduled
do a roll call.
fees.
Yeah.
Timmons, Birdie,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes,
Dollar,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes. Okay, the meeting schedule for, the next fiscal. I don't see any conflicts. Trustees meeting's on the sixth, so that's all right there. Looks pretty good. Nothing jumps out at me.
Nothing on April Fool's Day, nothing on Christmas.
So,
I'll make the motion, we accept the Gaines Township scheduled meetings for 2016-2017 as presented.
or,
any discussion on the meeting schedule? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Meeting schedule stands approved. Resolution 2016-2, regarding the right to buy and sell real estate. Something that is done every year. Short and-
Again,
short and
I'll
sweet.
make the motion to accept resolution regarding the right to buy and sell real estate for Gaines Township, resolution 2016-02, as presented.
Support.
Okay, might as well do a roll call.
is that Chuck supporting?
Yes.
Yes.
Herman,
yes,
Timmons,
Yes.
Dollar,
Yes.
Birdie,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes. Resolution stands approved. The next resolution that we do yearly is 2016-02, regarding the depository of township funds. Lists all the places where the taxpayers' money is on deposit.
2003 vote.
It's all three.
Again, I will make the motion, we accept the resolution regarding depository of township funds, resolution 2016-03, as presented.
Support.
Any discussion on it? Karen? Roll call?
Timmons,
Yes.
Birdie,
Yes.
Herman,
yes,
Dollar,
Yes.
Martino,
Yes. Next resolution is 2016-04, regarding the supervisor's records, which in this resolution is the assessment roll and everything that's in the assessing office.
Again, I'll make the motion, we accept this resolution regarding supervisor records, resolution 2016-04, as presented.
or,
Okay, any discussion?
That means none of them can be removed from the township office.
That's where they reside. The assessment roll and all of the assessing documents
Reside here.
Reside there.
Reside here, township office.
Right.
Very good.
Any other discussion? Karen?
Dollar,
Yes.
Herman,
yes,
Birdie,
Yes.
Yes.
Martino,
Yes. Okay, now we're into housekeeping for the end of the year. Simplest way to put it. Budgets, adjustments.
I tried to, as you can see on the right side, there's an amended amount, and I put what our, the at our last meeting, we had some amendments, so I've included them, and I've also included the amendments that, that need to be done tonight, also to this. On the, behind the budget, there's a page for budget adjustments.
Those are the same as in this column here?
Yes, they're the same as in the column
So you got
to the right, plus the ones that we did at the last meeting also. So I just did some strike-throughs and then put the new numbers over on the right side and re-added some things in that way so it could be a little more easier to understand what we've done and where we started and where we ended, kind of thing. And I also had some adjustments in the police department and fire department. I don't know if them are quite as critical as the general fund. The auditor usually doesn't look at them as much, but I thought we should do them just so they're on record that we did them, so when the audit is done. And I also did an amended amount and did some cross-throughs, strike-throughs there. In the fire department, it's the same total amount of expenditures, just some numbers were switched around. And in the police department, it ended up being just a few more dollars. And the thing about some of these expenditures that we've done in the police and fire we've offset them expenditures by grant monies. So there is some grant revenues that have come in, or some donations that have paid for some of the stuff that we have bought this year. But we have to account for the expense. I mean, we actually wrote a check for like the body camera system for $5,000 or $7,000 or something.
It was over $7,000, not one bit of it was township money.
Right, but we got a grant for the 5,000 plus
Shows
the
it coming
donation.
in, you gotta show the expense going out.
So, yeah, we had to show that expense going out
Mhm.
in that, so. As bookkeeper Dave tells us, you have to account for the expenditures. Doesn't talk too much about accounting for the revenues, but you have to account for the expenditure. No matter how you acquired the money, you have to account for the expenditure in your budget. So that's what I've tried to do.
that last line in the fire, that was, deductible, some of that?
Yes, in the fire department, that was, well, that was actually the payment to fix the building. That was a $5,500 bill, there was a $500 deductible, but we actually wrote the check out of the fire department to cover that. We'll be doing the same thing for the truck repair also,
So it was under the fire department?
The last slide,
building improvements.
see where it was changed from 1,500 to 6,000?
Yes.
That's the, insurance reimbursement for.
Okay, we got reimbursed for the door, but we had to write the check.
We wrote the check to pay the guy that did it.
Okay.
And also, in the general fund, we had a contingency line. As you can see, I did a strike through from that.
Right.
Our bookkeeper Dave says there's no such expenditure as contingency. We should not be using some type of terms. There's,
Oh, okay.
there's no expense that's a contingency expense or whatever. So I took that out of there. What else did I do? Oh, and then the capital improvement for roads on the revenue side, I had accounted for the Oakwood subdivision improvement. As you can see, that was $557, and really that is not revenue. It was gonna be,
$557,000.
that was just going to be monies out of general fund balance that we had, that we used. So that's really not a revenue. So I can't really put it on as a revenue, it's money we already had. We just
Right.
transferred it and used it, you know.
Right.
So it's really not a revenue. We had an expense for that, but not a, and I had to increase that expense line as you see in the capital improvements. Oh, that was on the road one. I had,
Eight something.
yeah. Where did I put that in? Let's see if there.
Sure. Oh, there it is.
Under public works.
Yeah, it's up here, Public Works. Page 4.
I had to account for that expenditure that we had there. For the project. $850,000.
Folders are giving me trouble here, so sometimes I can't focus on it very good. All right.
So hopefully that will amend all the lines, so when the audit comes through,
We'll have a better time than last year.
yeah, we'll have.
Do you want to just do it all in lumps?
Yeah, I would say just do the budget adjustments as presented.
I'll make a motion, we accept the budget adjustments to our 2015, 2016 budget as presented.
Support.
Okay. All right, any discussion on these adjustments? Hearing none, Karen?
Rudy?
Yes.
Timmons?
Is this 2015 to 2016?
Yeah, we're fixing
We're in the
the,
last day of the budget, we're fixing last year's budget.
yeah, we're amending last year's
Thank you.
budget.
You gotta do it before April 1st. Yes.
Dollar,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes,
Martino,
Yes. Okay. More housekeeping. So we're gonna have the, last year's General Appropriation Act amended to match the adjustments that we just did.
And I did the same thing here, I used the strike through, as you can see. Some of them have 2 strike throughs because that's where the changes we made last time. And now we're making another change this time in that number.
I'll make a motion, we accept the General Appropriation Act amendments to the 2015, 2016 Appropriation Act as presented.
Support.
Okay, any discussion on the amended General Appropriation Act? Hearing none, Karen?
Rudy,
Yes.
Dollar?
Yes.
Timmons,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes,
Martino,
Yes. Okay. Now, how the papers is going? What do we got? We need to remove the garbage line?
I would like to, bookkeeper Dave has not, as of yet, removed the garbage from our general fund reporting. We had asked him to do that. So I think it would be good as a board if we just make a motion to do that. As you know, previously, the garbage was not included in the general fund reporting. It had its own separate reporting. And then it got put in there, and we would like it taken back out of there. So I think a motion from the board would confirm that, and for the audit too, from last year.
So we want that separate once again?
Correct. Separate report.
Check it.
Yeah, we can keep track
So
of it
moved.
better.
support.
Discussion on it? This includes the recycles?
Everything.
We decided to do this, but we just can't get it through Dave to actually do it, so.
Isn't there some type of a bill that they just passed in regards to the recycling for, the townships if they're doing it? We pick up something, in addition?
You mean state revenue, you mean? Additional revenue comes in?
I thought I saw something in the last couple of, MTA notices that came out.
Want to do some research
I'll
on
have to dig through it.
Can't imagine it from this legislature, that'd be interesting.
it? Okay, any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now. We want to affirm the balances for the auditor in the fire depreciation, police depreciation, and building funds.
Yes, in the past, we've had it in our budget, but it's never been board action to actually come up with the balances of them funds. And if you looked at, I brought last year's audit here, and she had designated that the fire department had $192,657 in its depreciation fund, and the building and site had $215,000. And if we don't designate some of these monies that she can report this, then they're reported as undesignated funds.
And did she understate them when did she pick the wrong balances anyway?
Yes.
So we should state the
So we, as
balances.
a board, should state the balances. So Diane had printed you the balances here in the checkbook. And also, we had discussion, Diane had asked about, should we create a separate savings account, checking account for the building fund, so we can keep track of that? Easier for us anyways than to have it included in the general fund balance.
Well, how far are you gonna break that down? Are you gonna have the office staff clock in and out on their work for that too? I mean, you're not gonna follow it that far.
No.
You know, I'm talking like expenditure side of that money, to track it.
Oh, this is for building and site.
Really what,
Oh, for our building, not
Yeah.
building and stuff, okay, I was thinking that, okay. For the building and site,
Building and site improvements.
Okay,
The
all right.
fund that we had started to
Okay.
do that.
I'm on.
We
I'm
just
on
say that
We-
each year, but.
yeah, we created the funds and we consider them to be dedicated funds, but until there's in the minutes of the meeting,
that makes them more officially
then,
there.
Right.
Otherwise, it could be
well, then
diverted,
it can be undone.
yeah.
Well, we were commingling,
Right. Throwing it all in the same pot.
Okay,
And it
Yeah.
would take board
Okay,
action,
okay.
it
I
would
get
take
it.
board action to undo it. So there'd be no difference of opinion of what is.
how much is there?
How much is there, and that it is in fact dedicated to that activity.
and then each year that gets updated, and
Right.
it's updated in the same manner, so that it's still an official amount that's in there.
Right.
I got you.
One thing, did you suggest that we open a checking and a savings?
Or savings.
Okay.
I'm asking, do we wanna do that like we do for the police depreciation, the fire depreciation, and the roads fund, we have a separate fund for that we keep track of things.
It can be done either way, either by
You
those,
snag a little bit of interest if you do it in the savings?
either that by the,
Very little.
Yeah, really.
yeah, it can be a dedicated fund that's included in the general fund balance, as long as you keep the account numbers straight,
Right.
and then it can be in the same account. But if it's easier, then you can have your own savings account. You know, that fund can have its
So
own.
what would be the preferences? The preferences to have them broken down in their own accounts?
Well, I was kinda thinking it would be nice, I guess. Were you thinking it would be nice, Diane, to have it that way? At a quick glance, we could tell how much money was,
That way you would get a statement like this, and you would know this is what's in there.
this is what's in that account.
Makes it more specific.
Yeah.
You don't have a
More
problem
specific.
doing that.
No,
That's really
one
something,
more checking account to balance.
I mean, it's up to you, really.
There's not that much activity, you know, those things are big drops at one time if we ever use them, so.
It's really up to you. If you don't want the aggravation of another account, that's fine.
That's fine.
Well, I'll make the motion that we affirm the balances for the auditor in the fire department, police department, fire depreciation, police depreciation, and the building funds.
And do we wanna create a savings account to put that in for the building fund?
For the capital building and site,
And create individual saving accounts?
Well, we only need one, because we already have an account for police and fire.
Okay, then you can,
Yeah, we wanna use numbers though. in the motion.
Right, and in the motion, we need numbers of what's in them accounts.
So the auditor can say there's a motion at the board level that this account
But
exists.
see, in the building and site, the last time she reported, it was 215, and in my current budget here, I had at least 250, wasn't it?
Mhm. Yeah,
What's the balance, I said,
Yeah, we
plus
didn't-
25 this
we
year?
didn't spend any money out of it. so.
Right, we haven't spent anything, so. I don't think there's been a motion for her to go by over the years.
But she looks at all the minutes and
Right,
that's what she
reports on,
reports on, so.
what's in the minutes, so.
okay, so in that regard,
There's no which one is which here.
let me restate that, if I may. What's that?
What do you know which one is which one?
Well, I don't know.
Top.
Hopefully this is the one Dr. is used for that.
I'm telling you.
So we'll word right if it's out.
I got so much blood flowing on my hands.
So I had a beginning balance of 250, is that reasonable to everybody, or do you wanna make it 275 and go from there? What kind of number do you wanna?
Roll.
Well, we're stating 2016, 2017. So your
Right, see, my
intention,
beginning balance was 250. So what we need to do is state the balance as of today, so.
okay, this is before 2016, 2017, so
Right.
we need the old number.
250.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
That would be 250, and fire depreciation would be this 267, 741 number. And the police would be this 20,737.
And roads,
Yeah, and the roads would be 39,059.
Oh, that wasn't in there, that wasn't on the,
No, I didn't have that,
Okay,
but we could
so-
add that anyway,
okay.
so, if you would.
roads again was what?
Yeah, 39,059.
Okay, here we go.
all right.
I'll make the motion that we affirm the balances for the auditor in fire depreciation of $26,747.
$267,741.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't tell you that.
You sure?
No, it's just me, I'm just an idiot. I'll restate that as $267,741. Police depreciation as $20,737. Road depreciation fund as $39,059. And the building